Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about the Holika Holika Hardcover Glow Foundation. I've previously tried the Hardcover Glow Cushion Foundation and that was sent to me for review by Holika Holika. They gave me the shade number 2, which was Petal, which worked okay, and I really liked the formula of the cushion. It was so glowy, it was so easy to apply, my skin looked beautiful, so I decided to pick up the foundation in the hopes that it would be the same beautiful formula, but this time I got number 1, which is the shade Ivory, Warm Ivory, because it said warm and it looked really yellow, so I was like, yes, we can do that. I'm not wearing it at the moment because I'm wearing the Etude House foundation because I've been doing a bunch of cheek swatches, so I needed to be taking things off and putting it back on again, but you will see how this looks like shortly. So the product description says, this full coverage foundation boasts a powerful adherence to the skin for a long-lasting water glow finish. Formulated with Polu Barrier, it helps to strengthen skin barrier and added moisture. The packaging of this product is really nice and simple. It comes in a hard plastic or glass bottle and it has a pump top, which I really like. It disperses just a little bit more than I would need for a full face, but it's kind of easy to have a little bit more than a little bit too little. I have the shade 01 Warm Ivory, which is a really nice warm toned pale shade. It's not quite as yellow as NARS Sheer Glow in Siberia, but then nothing else really is. I find that this shade fits my skin really nicely and I have no real issues with it, to be honest. If it was a little bit yellower, it would be a little bit nicer, but you can't have everything. So I find that this foundation works best if I have a nice moisturized face and also if I apply it using a damp sponge. I only need about 1 pump, which is great, but I find that if I don't use a damp sponge or a very moisturized face, it does cling quite a lot, even though it's a glow cushion, which glow foundation, which did surprise me quite a lot. I was assuming that it was going to be a very similar formula to the Hardcover Glow Cushion, which is why I keep getting the name confused, which I have tried before from Holika Holika and I did really like. So this is why I bought the foundation, but I feel like the consistency in the formula is not the same. Like I said, this one is not super glowy if you don't use the right tools and the right prep for your skin, whereas the cushion I could just put it on whenever, wherever, and it would be the most beautiful glowy finish. It is super easy to apply today because I have moisturized face and a damp sponge, so it does look really healthy and glowy. It's not sticking to any dry spots, so I'm showing you the best side of the cushion that I can. However, it's worth noting if you are using the moisturized base and the damp sponge that the coverage is less. So I'm building it up a little bit over where I have some scarring. Oh, I forgot to show you guys like a half face, I'm sorry. And that is it. So it looks super glowy. I've built it up a little bit over the scarring, but it is still a nice medium finish. It is a little bit sticky to touch, so I will need to set this with a powder for sure. The colour is really nice. It's a very nice yellow, warm toned colour, and it is the right lightness. So I absolutely love the shade, and this one is number 1, which I think is just called Ivory. Yeah, Warm Ivory. So it is the perfect shade almost. Not quite on par to NARS Sheer Glow in Siberia, but I think that it is pretty good. So I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and I'll check in with you guys throughout the day. So this is what the foundation looks like after 10 hours. It's actually pretty good. I was unable to do any check-ins throughout the day because I was at a job where I cannot take a camera with me and I didn't come back home for lunch today, so you just get the very long end of day. But I think for me it looks pretty good. There is a little bit of wear around my chin, a little bit of oil on the tip of my nose, but nothing really that bad. In fact, I feel like it's got pretty good longevity for me. However, the weather is very starting to get autumnal at the moment. It's not super cold, but it's also not super hot so that I'm sweating all the time. So I think that it definitely does contribute to the good longevity for me, but I feel like it's not a bad product in terms of longevity anyway. So overall, I've actually been really enjoying using the Holika Holika Hardcover Glow Foundation. I feel like the shade is really nice on my skin. No, it's not the most yellow in the world, but it does fit really well without being too orangey or too pinky coloured. I find it okay to apply. I feel like the application and the finish are kind of the down points for me because sometimes it is hard to apply. I feel like the best application for me is using a damp sponge as well as a very moisturized base because the foundation itself is not inherently moisturizing for my skin. I actually don't know why, because it should be, because according to the product description, it has a long-lasting water go finish, but it can be very drying on my skin, and if I have dry patches, it will cling to those dry patches. And it's not the most flattering. So to get the best out of this foundation, I highly recommend using it with a moisturized base. If you have normal to dry skin, I would guess. If you have oily skin, you might be okay, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. It does have fairly good longevity, and I don't have huge issues with it. It does get a little bit oily after a long day's wear, but it doesn't come off, so it's not transfer proof, but like if I was to touch my face, it's not going to come off. I haven't gone to sleep while wearing it, so I don't know if it's going to come off like the Moonshot cushion would, but I don't think it would. So aside from the fact that I don't like the finish of it unless I do specific things, I really like the foundation as long as I do those specific things. I know that sounds really weird, but if you have a foundation where you don't like the finish of it and you can do something to change it, then that shouldn't affect your overall opinion of the foundation unless the things that you have to do to change it are extreme. So for instance, I wouldn't like it if I needed to mix it with a foundation mixer or anything every single time I had to use it, but using a more moisturizing sunscreen base and wetting a cushion is not too much to ask for in my opinion. But thank you so much for watching this review, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!